A rock legend struggling to walk, a pop star facing a major health setback, and the leader of the Catholic Church in recovery. Ozzy Osbourne, Max George, and Pope Francis are all battling serious health concerns, leaving fans around the world on edge. And in more heartbreaking news, we say goodbye to some remarkable figures, actors, historians, athletes, and leaders who've helped shape our world. On today's episode of Final Moments, we honor the lives of those we've lost. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on the latest news and tributes. Number 1. David Boren. David Lyle Boren was a man who dedicated his life to service to his state, his country, and the pursuit of knowledge. Born in Washington, D.C. on April 21, 1941, Boren's journey would take him from the halls of Yale and Oxford to the highest echelons of political power and finally to the heart of education in Oklahoma. Boren's story is one of resilience, reform, and a deep commitment to the people he served. As the 21st governor of Oklahoma, he swept into office with a promise to clean up state government, earning him the nickname the Broom Governor. His reforms were transformative, from tax cuts to corrections reforms, and his leadership during the energy crisis of the 1970s brought him national recognition. In 1979, Boren took his broom to Washington, D.C., serving 3 terms in the U.S. Senate. There, he became known as a centrist Democrat, a bridge builder who worked across the aisle to advance policies he believed in. As a chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, he played a pivotal role in shaping national security policy, earning praise from figures like Nelson Mandela for his efforts to promote democracy abroad. But perhaps Boren's most enduring legacy lies in his 24-year tenure as president of the University of Oklahoma. Under his leadership, OU flourished, becoming a beacon of academic excellence and innovation. Boren's time at OU wasn't without controversy, though. In 2015, he faced a defining moment when he took swift and decisive action against racism on campus, expelling students involved in a racially charged incident and implementing mandatory diversity training. In his later years, Boren faced personal and professional challenges, including health issues and allegations of misconduct. Though investigations concluded without charges, the accusations cast a shadow over his legacy. David Boren's life was a testament to the power of service, the importance of education, and the enduring impact of leadership. He passed away on February 20th, 2025 at the age of 83, leaving behind a legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come. Number 2. Peter Jason. Some people leave an indelible mark on the world, not just through their work, but through the quiet, steady presence they bring to every role they inhabit. Peter Jason was one of those people. A character actor in the truest sense, he didn't just play roles, he brought them to life, infusing each one with a depth and authenticity that made us believe in the stories he helped tell. Born in Hollywood on July 22, 1944, Peter Jason grew up in the heart of the world that would later become his stage. From the sun-soaked streets of Newport Beach to the hallowed halls of Carnegie Mellon University, where he honed his craft, Peter's journey was one of passion, dedication, and an unwavering love for storytelling. Over the course of his remarkable career, Peter appeared in more than 80 films and 100 television series. He became a familiar face, a comforting presence, and a master of his craft. Whether he was a Pinkerton agent in The Long Riders, a soccer coach in The Karate Kid, or the voice of Sergeant Dornan in Fallout 2, Peter had a way of making every character feel real, relatable, and unforgettable. But Peter's legacy isn't just in the roles he played, it's in the connections he made. He was a frequent collaborator with legendary directors like Walter Hill and John Carpenter, appearing in 8 of Hill's films and 6 of Carpenter's. His work with them wasn't just professional, it was personal. He brought a piece of himself to every project, and in doing so, he became a part of our lives. On February 20th, 2025, Peter Jason passed away at the age of 80. His departure left a void in the hearts of those who knew him and in the industry that he loved so dearly. But his work, his art, remains. It's there in the films we rewatch, the shows we revisit, and the characters we'll never forget. Number 3, Mabel Landry. Mabel Landry's story is one of resilience, courage, and undeniable talent. A true trailblazer in track and field, she defied expectations, broke barriers, and left behind a legacy that extends far beyond the track. Today, we honor her journey, her triumphs, and the impact she made on generations to come. Born on November 30th, 1932, Mabel Mary Dolly Landry grew up on the south side of Chicago. As a young black athlete in a segregated America, she faced challenges that would have discouraged many. But Mabel wasn't just any athlete, she was a fighter. Running for the Catholic Youth Organization, or the CYO, she made history as their only member at first, her talent paving the way for the creation of one of the first integrated track teams in the Midwest. One of the defining moments of her early career came when she was just 16. While traveling to the 1949 National Championships, her coach bought her a sleeping compartment for the long journey. But when the train crossed the Mason-Dixon line, she was woken up and forced to move to the front of the train with the other black passengers. This cruel act of discrimination didn't just shake her, it sparked change. The CYO sued the Illinois Central Railroad and won, proving that Mabel's impact extended beyond athletics. She was part of a fight for justice. In 1952, Mabel Landry became the only American woman to compete in the long jump at the Helsinki Olympics. During the preliminary round, she made history by setting an Olympic record of 5.88 meters. Though her record was quickly surpassed, that moment cemented her place among the best in the world. She ultimately finished 7th in the final, but for her, the Olympics were never just about winning, it was about proving that she belonged. Mabel once said, being on the Olympic team wasn't about winning, it was about taking part. And take part she did, opening doors for women and athletes of color for generations to come. Her accomplishments didn't end in Helsinki. In 1955, she won a bronze medal in the 60-meter dash and anchored the gold medal-winning 4x100-meter relay team at the Pan American Games. She was a 4-time national long jump champion and claimed multiple sprinting titles, making her one of the most dominant American female track athletes of her era. Mabel Landry passed away on February 20th, 2025 at the age of 92 after a long battle with cancer. But her legacy is immortal. She was an Olympian, a champion, a mentor, and a trailblazer. We honor her not just for what she achieved, but for the path she paved for those who came after her. Number 4, Feroz Ahmed. Feroz Ahmed was more than a historian, he was a storyteller of Turkey's past. Born in Delhi in 1938, he pursued his passion for history, earning degrees from Delhi University and the University of London. Under the guidance of Bernard Lewis, he specialized in the Young Turk Revolution, a pivotal moment in Ottoman history. His works, including The Young Turks and The Making of Modern History, became essential reading for scholars and students alike. His research explored the complex evolution of Turkey, shedding light on its struggles, transformations, and quest for identity. Over the years, Ahmed's work would take him across the world: Harvard, Columbia, Tufts, and the University of Massachusetts Boston, before he eventually settled in Istanbul at Yeditepe University. He didn't just study Turkey's past, he became an integral part of its intellectual landscape. Beyond academia, Ahmed was a devoted husband and father. He spent decades teaching at prestigious institutions, including Harvard and Columbia, before making Turkey his home. In recognition of his contributions, he was awarded the Order of Merit in 2014. Feroz Ahmed passed away on February 20th, 2025, leaving behind a legacy of knowledge and inspiration. His work continues to shape our understanding of modern Turkey and its historical journey. Number 5. Julian Holloway. Some people leave behind more than just memories, they leave a legacy woven into the very fabric of entertainment. Julian Holloway was one of those rare individuals, a man of talent, charm, and unmistakable wit. His career spanned decades and genres, leaving an indelible mark on British cinema, television, and even in the world of voice acting. For many, Julian Holloway will forever be remembered as part of the beloved Carry On film franchise. Whether it was Carry On Doctor, Carry On Up the Khyber, or Carry On Camping, his performances brought laughter to generations. He had a knack for delivering humor effortlessly, embodying the cheeky, mischievous spirit that made the series iconic. But Julian wasn't just a gifted comedian, he was born into a legacy of performance. His father, Stanley Holloway, was a celebrated actor and singer, best known for My Fair Lady. The world of theater and film was in Julian's blood, and from a young age, it was clear he was destined for the stage and screen. Beyond comedy, Julian showed his versatility in dramas like The Sweeney, Doctor Who, and Minder. He had an uncanny ability to switch from humor to drama with ease, proving himself a truly well-rounded performer. Beyond the lights and cameras, Julian was a father. His daughter Sophie Dahl followed her own path to success as a model and writer, carving out a name in literature and fashion. Through her, his influence continues. On February 16, 2025, we said goodbye to Julian Holloway. He passed away at the age of 80, leaving behind a career filled with laughter, drama, and unforgettable performances. He may be gone, but through his work, he remains with us. Number 6. Diana Melly. There are some lives so rich in experience, so full of joy, heartbreak, love, and adventure, they feel almost impossible to capture in a single story. Diana Melly lived one such life, a life shaped by passion, art, and an unyielding search for meaning. Born in 1937, Diana Margaret Campion Melly wasn't destined for an ordinary existence. The daughter of a railway clerk and a cleaner, she grew up in post-war Britain, navigating strict societal norms. But Diana was never one to conform. By the age of 16, she had already been married once. By 26, she had been married 3 times. Love for Diana came in many forms, sometimes at the right time, sometimes at the wrong time, but always in abundance. In the heart of Soho's bohemian underworld, she met the man who would become her greatest companion and in many ways her life's work, George Melly. A jazz singer, writer, and larger-than-life character, George thrived in the chaos of creative excess. Their marriage, which lasted 45 years, was unconventional, messy, and at times painfully complicated. Diana dedicated herself to him, managing his career, his health, and his chaotic lifestyle. He called her Miss Perfect, but perfection, as Diana knew, was an illusion. Diana was not content to live in the shadow of a jazz legend. She was a writer, a thinker, a woman with a voice. Her 1997 novel, The Girl in the Picture, was her first step towards carving out her own identity beyond being George Melly's wife. She would go on to write The Goosefeather Bed, Strictly Ballroom, Tales from the Dance Floor, and her most personal work, Take a Girl Like Me, a memoir that laid bare the highs and lows of her extraordinary journey. She had a remarkable ability to care for those around her, sometimes to her own detriment. She took in the brilliant but troubled writer Bruce Chatwin, looking after him until his final days. She provided companionship to the reclusive novelist Jean Rhys, but her life wasn't without suffering. She battled depression, endured heartbreak, and faced the unimaginable loss of losing 2 of her 3 children. In her later years, after George's death in 2007, she found solace in new passions: opera, physics, and Greek philosophy. At 84, she flew to New York alone just to experience the Metropolitan Opera, because that's who Diana was, always seeking, always learning, always living. Diana Melly passed away on February 2nd, 2025, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and adventure.